any one tip that you want to give to the audience who's listening to this conversation, and anything that you'd like to share to them from your perspective?
So a few things. Again, it's a very good question. A few things here based on my experience as both as a coachee and as a coach. As a coach, it's somebody else's life's journey that we are talking about. So no conversation is a silly conversation. Every conversation is important because it's going to be a part of somebody's living and breathing journey that they're going through on a day-to-day basis. And second thing is, it's important not to be the wizard. This I learned from my coach, Michael Cullen. It's very important because in the initial days of my, coaching conversations, I have a strong, one of my strengths is also problem solving. Like I can get very irked if I'm not helping somebody find a solution or I'm not solving it myself. So I have to be a part of the process. That pushed me to be the wizard in some of the early conversations, to say, okay, if I'm going to contract with you for half an hour or 1 hour and somebody is coming to me with a problem, then I'll try to do what not to ask the leading question, so I get to I help them come up with a solution. But then I realized this based on my experience, that it was not making me feel fulfilled. Why? Because I'm caught up with the story. I was not caught up. I was not focusing on who the coachee is becoming, but so the story can keep evolving, right? This is important even for coachees, people who are approaching us for a conversation. The story can be anything else. Today I must have fought with my husband, my spouse, or my boss, or I would have had an ugly turn in something in my career, or I could have had a health debacle. The story can be anything else, but what defines you is who you are choosing to become and who you are becoming in that process, because every choice has a consequence. So it's very important to remember that as a counselor, you will have flexibility to advise the person and offer guidance to say, oh, this worked for me. But the question is, pause and reflect to say, do you even know what that person is living and breathing? So how can I sit here and make peace with that person and offer a piece of advice or guidance and expect that person to turn it around? I am indeed creating a dependency. I'm not empowering the person. So I think coaching teaches you that. That you will have to be composed, calm yourself down, center yourself. That's the word. Center yourself. Only when you are centered, you can offer that centering to the other person. And I think the best part of the entire process, what I've learned is, I was even wondering how will coaching add value, particularly because we are not having a FaceTime with the person necessarily. And I'm a face-to-face converser. I don't prefer much of online. And I was wondering, sitting here, how will the other person feel my energy or persona, especially because coaches will have to sit quiet. You're an active listener. You're only going to ask leading questions. So I don't know how coachee will even sense your vibe or, sense your energy. But the one thing that I've realized is, Sneha, is we all have the need to talk a lot and vent it out of our system, right? Invariably. If you're coming with a problem statement to me today in a coaching conversation, you want to be heard, you don't want to be judged, and you want to either explore or find a solution for yourself, and you want to feel like you're the king or a queen because you want to move forward. I think coaching gives you that avenue to a great extent. It empowers you so that with or without a coach, after that 5 to 6 conversations that you've contracted for, at least if nothing else, you start to become more self-aware, you become more self-observant, you start to observe your own somatic sensations, and you recognize and accept that this is who I am, and this is where I want to get to. Oftentimes, why we get caught up in the story is because we just don't have time to pause and reflect. We are so busy doing this catch-up game of, now I have this meeting, next what am I going to do, right? So I think coaches gives you an avenue for all this, and so it's so important to make that conversation very meaningful and purposeful for both the coachee and coach, because as I said, I'll reiterate again, it is not about, it's not a tick in the box, it's not a checklist item where you just sit and discover a problem and then you say you can do this. It's about somebody else's life's journey, and I'm extremely grateful that as a coach I get to be a teeny tiny part of that growth story, and that's what appeals me the most in coaching. So yeah, it's an experience that I will cherish forever in my life, definitely. Not saying for the sake of saying, because it has helped me recognize my own emotions too. It has helped me curtail my emotions when I get caught up in the story of a coachee, and stay calm, composed, hear my own emotions, hear my own self-talk, and also be present with the coach. And you realize how important it is to be present in the moment and not get swarmed with the past or the future, but the present is what is very, very important. So this centering is something that coaching gave me, and I hope I will learn to become very detached and not get caught with the story of the coaches as well. I've enjoyed every single experience that I've had as a coaching conversation with all the coaches that I've interacted in the last, close to 1 year's period. And I hope to learn a lot from it and become a better human being myself too.
Lovely. So beautifully you sum it up, Sarah. I feel like just listening to you on and on and on. So I think lovely experiences, and so nicely put across, how coaching really, really helps people. We get caught up in our own things so often. We don't get the time to, pause and reflect. I think that's something really, really important, and this will not only help us to be present, it will also make our future goals much more easier.
Yeah.
Thank you. Lovely having you on the show, Sarah. I hope you enjoyed having this conversation as I loved having this interaction with you, and wishing you all the very best, and I encourage all the audience. I mean, Sarah is a beautiful and a lovely coach, so if you have any professional challenges or anything that you're exploring or getting stuck in some or the other kind of situations, please go ahead and reach out to Sarah. Thank you so much for being with me. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, Sneha. Same goes for you. You are an excellent coach, excellent peer. I've learned a lot from you, and thanks for being so kind and modest in all that you told about me. I'm wishing you all the best too for everything that you have in terms of your startup organization and all the efforts that you're making to actually to touch others' lives. It's very, very noble thing to actually do. So I wish you all the best for all your future endeavors, and thank you for giving me a medium to hear myself and my instincts about coaching as well.
Thank you.
It was a great talk show. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.